Man, how you doing? It's Tom Pino here with Pinoy News. Man, I know, look, my hair's fucked up. I ain't get a shower yet this morning. It's Sunday, baby. You know what I mean? I got up, made some motherfucking steak and egg burritos for the kids and my baby girl. You know what I mean? Getting it done, fed the baby, hung the fuck out, and I've been doing a ass ton of motherfucking research this morning, trying to figure stuff out. All right. Yesterday we did a video about gold. Well, last night did a video about gold and how gold is undervalued due to the fact that they continue to sell paper gold and they base the price off of paper gold rather than basing the price off of actual hard commodities. And what I was looking for was a reason, like a reason why all this shit's going on. Like there has to be an actual reason. And I think I figured out part of it, and I figured out a big piece of something that kind of fucked me up a little bit. So we're gonna have a conversation about gold leasing. All right. So gold leasing, real simple, is when a central bank or a government leases out its gold. All right, but it still says it has it on reserve because technically it's still its gold, but they lease it out to a company. And these companies can do anything from taking that gold, like these big bullion banks will take the gold and they'll sell it out as paper gold, 200 to 1, or if they can turn it into fucking jewelry or in the auto parts or computer parts or whatever the case might be. So here's the issue, all right? Oil stocks, copper. In the 1980s, central bankers decided to let their gold work for them. They wanted to earn interest on their gold in the same way they did holding bonds. Gold leasing was born. Gold leasing is a process whereby central banks lend their physical gold to banks in exchange for small interest payments and a promise to pay back the gold. While this interest rate has been relatively low compared to the interest earned on bonds, central banks were better off, at least on paper, because they found another source of income. Gold leasing started as a very small business, with central banks having a net lease position of only a few hundred tons by the end of the 1980s. But in the 1990s, gold leasing began to boom. Not only did central banks want to earn interest on what otherwise would be a non performing asset, but the banks that they leased the gold to, called bullion banks, were making money as well. Gold bullion banks found it profitable to put gold on a carry trade. They would sell the gold in the market in exchange for a currency or bond that had a higher yield than what they were paying on the central bank or leasing privilege. Thus, the bullion banks would earn a spread between the gold leasing rate and the interest rate they earned on whatever currency they bought in exchange for the gold. But the gains were compounded as a result of the declining gold price. The bullion banks could buy the gold back at a lower price when it came time to close out the trade. As a result, in the end of the 1990s, gold leasing increased to more than 44,000 tons of gold officially, although unofficially, some analysts, most notably Frank Veneroso, believe that the figure was substantially higher. We simply cannot know how much gold central banks have leased out, especially since they have been extraordinarily secretive about it. Now, I wanted to do this, and then I wanted to also show y'all bookmarks. Oh, this is not the one I wanted. These are not the droids you are looking for. Uh, Gold Reserve. Yeah, that's it. Gold Reserve from Wikipedia. Now, wanted to show dun 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 this here. All right, now here's the situation. So this shows the top countries and what they have in gold reserves, but then it also says gold share of forex reserves. Now, what this means is that is the amount of gold that's in the foreign exchange markets. So basically, you can do some quick math. All right, the United States has 8,133 tons of gold. All right, the gold share of forex values is 74.6%. So 74.6 of that 8,100 tons of gold is in the foreign markets and isn't owned by the United States anymore. It's still owned technically on paper, but we don't fucking have it. Germany, same situation. And Germany's moving by 2020 to bring all their gold home. They called the New York Central Bank, right? The Federal Reserve Bank in New York, where there was supposedly 200 tons of gold sitting in their basement from Germany. And they said, can we examine our gold? And the Fed said, no. They don't fucking have it. They ain't telling that. They just made some type of crazy ass statement about fucking safety, right? They said it's a safety concern. right, or whatever the case might have been, right? It's a safety, security concerns, some shit like that, right? And I guess they had seen that fucking Die Hard movie where the Germans came in and just ran roughshod and started fucking running fucking trucks into the goddamn subway and shit on some banana stuff, you know. But that's exactly what they told them. They said no, right? So then you had the International Monetary Fund, 2,814, not applicable. Italy has 67%, France has 65%. China only has 2.4% of its 1,800 pounds. Russia only has 16%. Switzerland only has 5.5%. Why does it only have 5% in Sweden? Because Sweden holds other people's gold. That's why. Sweden's kind of like a safe haven. Japan has 765 tons of gold, but it only has 2.5% of that in outside reserves. Asians don't like to loan their shit out. India, same process. European Central Bank. The European Central Bank has this gold on loan to other individuals, right? Because they're all fucking broke over there. Saudi Arabia, 2.6%, whatever. So basically, what the situation is this, all right? If you look at this United States number, 74.6% of their gold, which means about $6,000 worth of it, or 6,000 tons worth of it, right, is some of these other individuals' gold. Some of these other individuals' gold is our gold. And their gold is somebody else's gold. So that's why the price of gold is so fucking low, because these large amounts are all make believe. Each of them loaned it to the other person, who loaned it to somebody else, who loaned it to somebody else, who loaned it to somebody else. And every time they did that, they created new gold that never existed in the first fucking place. Because all that fucking gold is still on our books, even though we don't fucking have that gold. It's a strange situation, ain't it? So Tom P's just figured out the gold situation. And that's why the price is so fucking low. If everybody actually had to, and that's why, like, we haven't had an actual audit of our gold stores in the past, God, I want to say, 1954 was the last time we did an actual gold audit. And he didn't release it until 1974. And back in 1954, there was 20,000 tons. Now there's only 8,000 tons. So over what they already said that they got rid of, right, which is 12,000 tons of it, there's still fucking another 3/4 of that disappeared. So all this gold is in the fucking market somewhere, but nobody has the gold. The gold isn't there. Like, fucking, we don't have the gold. Somebody else has the gold. Who has that gold? Who has that gold? Who has that gold? And every time they fucking lease it back out again, like, it's kind of like, saying, all right, I have a job and I'm paying somebody else to do a job, and he pays somebody else to do that job. He's paying somebody else to do that job. And you say, oh man, we just created 6 jobs. No, the fuck you didn't. You all just took $1 less of what the fuck you were doing each way down the fucking line. Like, it's all complete bullshit. It's only one thing, right? It's complete nonsense. It's complete gibberish. It's all fancy math. 1 + 1 = 5. It's kind of the situation. So I wanted to make that video real quick. I'm gonna jump back on here and I'm gonna do a silver video. I got to do a little more research into the silver market, but it's kind of the same as gold, but it's way worse. So I wanted to do all each of these independently, so all of it had the opportunity to go through and check all of it out. All right, man. It's been Tom Pino with Pinoy News. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions. All right. Later. Bye.